We are here midweek talking about Dancing with the Stars and also some reversals we're seeing in the markets. Joining me is Peter Tuchman from QMS. Atella is the tell-all. Hello, Peter. Welcome.
Good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Well, we're seeing a reversal from yesterday's losses amid some crazy cyber attacks and some mixed central bank statements and, of course, the delay in healthcare votes. So what happened?
Well, I think yesterday's reaction was definitely due to the healthcare vote being postponed. I mean, it's not over. It doesn't appear to be a great bill for sure, it seems. But the postponement caused that uncertainty. And in our experience, you and me, we've been talking for a couple of months now, it seems that only that headlines don't tend to make this market move at all, at least coming out of Washington. But when there's uncertainty whether Mr. Trump's agenda will actually be able to come to fruition, the market tends to react if it happens midday while the market's open. So just at the minute that they postponed the vote till after the weekend, it was 1:30 in the afternoon. Market sold off hard. It was a complete reversal, right? It took oil down and it took the market down in general. We're coming into the end of the quarter, end of the half. We've had a lot of shares go back and forth. First the S&P quarterly, right? The Russell last week. So, and it just seems like that I'm sure there are a lot of people standing by, waiting for this market to come in, to sell off a little bit in order to start buying stocks, people sitting with shopping lists, and the market doesn't seem to come in, right? Yesterday came in 100 points, but there's not been any follow-through on the sell side. So as we come into the end of the quarter and the half, everybody needs to show on their sheets that they're involved in this market, and that's what I think we're seeing here. You know, I don't like to use the word markup, but it's just people are getting involved. Those who need to show by quarter end that they're in this market, a market that is at all-time highs.
Well, sticking with the Trump agenda, we are expecting the second stress test results this afternoon. How do they measure the overall financial system and Trump's plans to deregulate it?
You know what? I think there was some sort of a stress test last week. Also, the banking sector took this market higher right after the election because of the promises of deregulation and whatnot, and taxes and his reform agenda. Okay, and then it sort of faded, and people started getting out of banks. There was some profit taking. They are starting to rebound a little bit, banks and energies, right? As that tech sector. Sort of the arrest of that market a couple of weeks ago, right? When there was some statements, we talked about it. So it seems like there's some rotation out of that back into, they're selling the best performing and they're buying some of the underperformers, right? So we're coming a little bit out, not in a big way, but there's some rotation, right? Coming out of tech and getting into energy and banks again. I don't know how that will be. This Trump's agenda as far as banks has been off the burner for a while. I don't really know what in God's name is going on over there in Washington. I think it's time to stop just flinging whatever's being flung around there and actually get back to agenda, right? There's a lot to be done. We're like 3-4 months into this administration, and we're still just accusing everybody of everything, and we're not getting down to business. So I'm hoping the market doesn't seem to be responding. We're up 130 points. There was no follow-through on yesterday's emotional sell side relative to healthcare. This market's on fire. We're coming into the end of the quarter. We're at 2150, 21,500 on the Dow. The S&P is strong. So market doesn't seem to be fazed by anything.
Right, and like you said, as we're finishing up the rest of the quarter, you said that we've been in new rule mode. So what have you learned that you want to apply to the next summer chapter?
That's really hard to know. I mean, I think you just need to be one needs to be in the market, right? I think you need to have a shopping list for those days where there are going to be headlines, where the market sells off. I mean, I think from my understanding, that's the posture that a lot of funds need to be in and whatnot. You know what? I think every day, I don't know what it's going to bring. As I said, for me, the most important thing is that we stop. There's just the media and Washington and whatnot. It's just a lot of chatter, a lot of voices on both sides, and there's just stuff being flung around. And I think it's time to get down to business. We're coming into the second half of the year. It is time to get down to business.
All right. Taking care of business, right?
Exactly.